Hey guys, in today's video, I'm going to discuss and show you why my course is so valuable. This is my Private Patrol Operator Leadership and Management course. This is a 40-hour course. It's strictly online. There's a homework assignment as well. And I want to show you, I'm going to navigate this page with you real quick, but this is why it's valuable. Here's a curriculum. This is everything that we cover. And by the way, so whenever you see a module and then you see a set of numbers like 18.33. This is the minutes. So this is an 18-minute video. Definitions is a 7-minute video. Business formation is a 74-minute video with 44 seconds. The longest video that I have, or actually the longest module I have, is the use of force portion. It's right here. This is 383 minutes long. These are just the thumbnail to my video here. Okay, welcome everybody. This video is less than 18 minutes long. There's constitutional law and amendments that impact a guard's responsibilities. Also cover use of force in there a little bit. Non-deadly force standards. This is a 37-minute video. Very important video right here. This video is actually 2 hours and 55 minutes long. One of the most important videos, in my opinion, that you'll ever see, especially if you have an armed private security staff. And this is critical incident reporting requirements. I even have some links that you can download or that you can click on. So right here, this is the BSIS incident report form. You're getting into an incident involving force, any use of force. The law has changed actually. You're gonna have to fill out this whole form right over here. And then we have a short quiz here. And this is actually, looks like there's a 7-question quiz. This is also a very important section. It covers deadly force investigations of private security personnel. What do you do if you get involved in a lethal force encounter? I believe that this presentation is especially important for those of you who are in management. And I'll show you the forms that comes with the course. Here's some pricing options. This price is definitely going to change over time. Let's talk about all the forms here. So these are forms that are included in the course. And I have a total of 20 different forms. And you might be asking me, Sean, what's the utility of this? What benefit do I get? Well, all of these forms just put together took me more or less about 27.5 hours. And this involved extensive work and research. Not everybody has that time. The average pay for a security manager, a senior security manager, is somewhere ballpark figure about $52 an hour, $52.20 an hour. That's a ballpark figure. That's not the top salary. That's not the lowest. This is an average salary. And if somebody gets paid $52.20 an hour and they create basically 27.5 hours of work that involve creating and researching the forms, the value here is $1,435. You cannot just create a form without any type of research. And I'm going to show you what exactly I'm talking about. So a lot of these forms they involve workplace standards. So I have a 10-minute waiver form, an alternative work week schedule. If you are in California and your employees are scheduled regularly more than 8 hours a day, then you have to have a meeting, you have to have a secret ballet, you have to have a written disclosure, you have to have an actual election. all this paperwork has to be completed. You can't just start setting up your employees for 10-hour shift because you feel that this is the best business practice. There's an actual legal criteria that needs to be met, and these forms are especially helpful. So some of the forms I just named, they are in the employee rights module. And these forms are downloadable. So I have a 10-minute break waiver form. And what I did is I researched and analyzed Industrial Welfare Commission order, and I think it's order number 4. And I looked at all the requirements, and I included the requirements on this form. This is not a form that I just downloaded from the internet. This is a form that this is something where I had to actually research and apply my research to what the actual loss is, and then I created waiver forms for you guys. So the other one was a 10-minute break form. This one is a meal break waiver form. If you want to have your employees, or if your employees want to waive their meal breaks, okay, this needs to be documented. You can't just say, okay, employee, you want to waive your meal break? No problem. No, this has to be documented, and it has to be documented properly. You can create all these forms by yourself if you like. It does require extensive time and it covers extensive research. I want to reiterate that none of these forms contain any legal or professional advice. It's always recommended, just as one of these disclaimers that I have to mention, that you discuss these forms that I have here and you present them to a licensed attorney and see whether or not these forms are applicable to your workforce. There's even discussions here about a second meal period. Let's see what else I have. And this is a follow-up form. So your employees, they might waive their breaks or maybe not. Well, we need a follow-up form. We need to make sure whether or not they took a break or they did not take a break. Because if they did not waive their breaks, this is what's going to hit you later on if you're an employer. You're going to be hit with FLSE lawsuits. Basically, these are your workplace standards. These are your overtime law issues, especially with the larger companies. A lot of these lawsuits, they tend to wait after the employee has about 3 years of service, and then they end up filing these lawsuits. Obviously, depending on your employees, depending on what organization this is, but they wait 3 years, sometimes 4 years, and all that time that you're supposed to pay them for their meal breaks, you're going to have to pay them all back for all those years. It can easily cost, depending on how much you pay your employees, this could be $20,000, it could be 30,000, it could be even 40,000. For a lot of small businesses, this will crush you. Why not create a form where you can follow up as to whether or not the rest breaks were were taken or not, and then the employee even signs right here. What better evidence of the employee waived the meal break than these forms with their signature on it? Just skimming through the forms here again. And this is some more lecture. Okay, this is your alternative work week schedule. This is your secret ballot. Once again, you can't just create alternative work week without having a secret ballot. I did not download this secret ballot off Google or off the internet. This is something that I created based on my common reading of the law. And here's a sign-in sheet. Okay, you may need to prove that certain people were in attendance or a certain amount of people were in attendance. What better proof is there than an actual sign-in sheet? This is the value that you are going to get from my course. And yes, my course is a little bit pricey for some people, but I'm showing you how much value it has. You also need to provide a written disclosure if you're going to have an alternative work week. And again, I made a form just for you. Now, unfortunately, you can't just download these forms. These forms come with the course. And after you have an alternative work week election, with the results have came in, you actually have to forward the results to the Department of Industrial Relations. I actually created a letter just for you. Right here, conveniently, you just put your name, company name, street address, and then you give them this letter. Well, obviously, you have to fill in the name of the business, street address, and all information is contained in number 1 through 9, and even a phone number that they could call you. But this is basically a template for you. It's part 4 of the course, and I'm just skimming through it, you guys. These are all your employees' rights. Well, at least the majority of them. And I even have booklets that you can download. Now these booklets here, I'm sorry, I even have web pages where you can link to that basically discusses in summary what your employees' rights are. And then at the end I have is this one has a 6-question quiz. And then if you want to leave some comments, maybe ask some questions to me, the instructor, then you can do that here. But I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, you're going to get a lot of value in this course. Just look at all these forms that you will be able to download. If you're interested in my private patrol operator leadership and development course, I will leave links in the description box below. Hopefully I'll see you guys in the course.